What is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning in to another video, man. Shout out to Notification Squad. Hope you're having a great day, and shout out to everyone in the Discord. Let's get it. Got another question to answer, so stay tuned and we'll get straight to it. Let's get it. First question. Maku Beats, hopefully that's how you say your name. Hey man, I love this video. Any chance I could get some feedback on some of my work? Thanks. So yeah man, in our Discord we actually have a section called song feedback, so you can check that out. Definitely post a song for some review, definitely adds to the conversation, join the general chat and mixing tips and all those cool categories. Shout out to everyone on there. You know what I mean? It's getting better by the day, more people adding good input, so check it out. There's some really nice things to learn. Everyone is posting videos and that kind of thing. So once again, shout out to everyone. Check it out. Link in the description. Squad up. Hooper3K says, I bought this preset and it's amazing. Helps me save time and energy. Less thinking involved, just creativity with tools you gave me. Thank you. So I'm glad to see that somebody is enjoying the template. Shout out to all the users out there. And yeah man, it definitely has a small little learning curve, just to learn where to route everything. But once you get the hang of it, you can really just disable plugins, leave your auto tune on, leave a compressor on, record your music, and then literally turn things on and then adjust as you like, and you start getting nice results. The thing that I always try and provide, I still use my templates to this day. I'll use kind of a bare bones edition with just an SSL and a compressor, and then I'll kind of build as I go along. But the beauty of it is that everything is kind of set up in terms of reverb, in terms of the routing and that kind of thing, which is the most important part of it. I remember when I was still starting out, I would make my template from scratch every single session, and would just add on like an extra hour to my recording time, and I would sometimes lose motivation before even finishing the template. So that's why it's pretty cool to do so. These are also highly customizable, so I definitely urge everyone to not just take everything I say on these videos as like facts, but rather adjust. So if I say, for example, I'm adjusting the SSL at 8,000 hertz, why don't you try 12,000 hertz if that sounds good to you? Have fun with it. Remove an EQR. I remember someone asked me a question about, hey, if I switched out the compressor to get a slightly different sound, would that work? And I said, yeah, you've got the hang of it, because now you're starting to understand that the compressor doesn't have to be set in stone with the same settings. You can pretty much add in a different compressor, add your favorite compressor, squash the vocal a bit more, EQ the vocal a bit more, maybe even less, maybe disable a few EQs, if you're not getting that sound, and just keep working on it every day. You can fully customize it, and that's what's cool about it. So shout out to everyone out there, man. And on Discord I'm available if you want to ever ask a question. You can post screenshots and that kind of thing. So cool, man. Anyway, just join anyway. It's pretty cool. SME Cash asks, have you ever used the Blue Spark mic? Yes, I actually do have a Blue Spark mic. I've still got the MK1, which was the first revision of the Blue Spark. It's a bit more red than the second revision. The second revision is a bit more maroon with a little gold on it, and the first one sounds good to me. The reason I bought it back in, I would say like 2017, and that was my main vocal mic for that year pretty much, before I got the SE2200 and then the Neumann, was that I actually heard the Blue Spark up against the Neumann U87 in a professional voiceover studio, and it sounded like 90% identical to the Neumann. So technology has definitely gotten so much better in today's age, to where you can really make a sound purchase on any condenser microphone and it'll actually give you that sound. Definitely there is a slight difference between, for example, the $60 Chinese condensers you can buy and then the $1,000 or $500 mics. There will be a slight difference, especially in the treble, but for the most part the Blue Spark is a great microphone. I still like it. I still use it on female vocals once in a while. It also has a cool little button at the back, which actually I think boosts the high end, so that's pretty cool. You kind of have two mics in one. Great mic. Some other options out there is the SEX1 for a more low cost entry level microphone, the Rode NT1, not NT1A, as we've discussed on the Discord. Seems that everyone wants to use the NT1, not the NT1A, because the NT1A seems a bit brighter. It's definitely a good mic. There's so many mics out there. I just heard somebody sent me the template that they had recorded in with the Audio-Technica AT2020. I think it is a 2020, maybe it is. I don't know many Audio-Technica mics, but that also sounded good. So in my opinion, most options are damn good these days, and whatever you choose, it's probably going to be a decent option. Just make sure to really focus on getting your levels right. Make sure that you're recording in a space that has, for example, maybe like a few carpets on the floor and maybe some acoustic panels on the side. That'll definitely help your sound. But for the most part, it seems that everyone is getting much better results than what we used to get in like the before 2010. The audio interfaces didn't sound good, the mics didn't sound that high quality, and our computers weren't as powerful. So, in 2020 today, we're getting really good results. So, keep working, and it only sounds better the more you work. So, yeah, man. Quick9 says, yo, you're one of the few YouTube homies that knows what's good. Thank you for spreading your knowledge. And yeah, man, wow, thank you for tuning in every week, and shout out to everyone who has tuned in. I saw a comment the other day that said, been here since 1K. So you probably know back when I was making type beats, and then I uploaded my first kind of tutorial on how to get like a bare bones template. And, that video got a lot of views, and it wasn't the best video, but, I've been able to grow in terms of making tutorials. So, to see something like that does mean a lot to me. And in turn, if I've been able to help you, get that high fidelity vocal sound, I see people saying, oh man, I was using the EQ wrong, and I tried the SSL style EQ and it sounds a lot better. Stuff like that means a lot to me, because I also learned all of that somewhere else. I might have read a book, I might have watched a tutorial myself, and I try and just learn things all over. And that's how the community kind of benefits itself, benefits each other, by helping each other and that kind of thing. So I always try to put knowledge before any sort of product advertisement or anything like that. So just to see again stuff like that just means that hopefully I am going in the right direction. And people send me emails, we got the Discord with the song feedback to hear the quality of music that people post, and then for me maybe to check some of their previous stuff. It's just like worlds apart in terms of difference in quality. So my journey, I want to create the highest fidelity sound one day, and I will always teach as I move forward. So yeah, man, definitely always post questions and that kind of thing, and I'll try and answer. And yeah, man, keep working every day. For me as well, man, there was just a period like 2 years where like my quality wasn't getting better, and it's tough, but you really have to push yourself to the edge and commit, and good things will come. So shout out to everyone. 2003 says, dude, can you explain to me how to balance vocals and instrumentals to be 50-50? That is a good question. That is actually difficult to answer, because there's so many factors that go into how we perceive vocals on top of an MP3 or WAV file beat. Definitely mixing hip-hop has its challenges, man. I mean, there are a lot of engineers who, for example, mix rock that won't touch hip-hop, because it's a whole different ball game, especially when people are sending you MP3s or you trying to mix your own vocals over an MP3 beat. There's some things to really consider, and the first thing I would consider is to look at things vertically and horizontally. So how you're looking at it right now is vertically. You're looking at it in terms of volume, right? So you're saying, how do I get it 50-50? Now 50-50 vertically, the quickest way for me to adjust volume, so how to get the vocal good in relation to the beat, is I turn the monitors down low, right? So what I'll do is I'll turn the speakers down low, and then I'll kind of push up the vocal from 0, push it up to 0 dB obviously, and then I'll just kind of listen to where the vocal just sits on top of the beat, and from there on out I'll turn the speakers up a little bit, and then I'll kind of decide, okay, cool, it's there. From then on, what I'll do is I'll actually start to remove all of the bass, or not all of the bass, but as much bass as needed without making the vocal sound telephonic out of the vocal, kind of nudging out high or low end until I feel that the vocal starts to gel horizontally with the beat, right? Because horizontally would be frequency wise, right? And then vertically would be volume wise. Hopefully this all makes sense. This is the way I see it. So that's the first thing I do, is just to remove some of the bass out of the vocal, because generally hip-hop drums and anything, any genre really, is going to have a lot of energy going on in the lower mids, which is like 200 to 500, and then especially down from like 200 and below to 0 hertz. You're going to have a lot of energy that you want the beat to have, right? You want the beat to really have that 808, have that kick drum, but you want your vocal to kind of sit above that. So after I've done that, I'll generally start touching up the beat. A good tip that I've learned personally is to really look at high quality beats. Stop grabbing anything off YouTube, because you might mix your track, you might use a template, and you might realize, damn, and the vocal still sounds off, right? And that could also be from the beat being way too two-dimensional, way too over compressed, hi-hats too loud, or bass like muddy, and your vocals will never sit on those kind of beats, right? So you want to find nice spacious beats, and in theory all you should really be doing is a little bit of a high pass filter, compression, your sweetening effects like delays, reverbs, and you should have about 60% of the job done. After that, man, what I'll do is I will generally, what would I do afterwards? I would then add a bit of treble to my beat, right? So generally on the SSL EQ, this is what makes the SSL so great. I'll then add a little bit of a 8K boost, 10K boost to the vocal, just to make the vocal pop out. I could do a bit of de-essing, but those are the kind of things that I do as a start to make sure that my project blends together. From there on out, again, you want to go soft and just listen, and that's how you work, you know what I mean? You add your compression to really gel the vocal together, and that way you could, on your master channel, you can add just a little bit of sweetening effects, bit of EQ and that kind of thing, but it shouldn't be more complicated than that. If it does become way more complicated than EQ, compression, and a bit of sweetening effects, then you definitely need to consider if you're recording in high fidelity, or if the beat is in high fidelity, that kind of stuff. So spend some time not mixing and spend some time focusing on how to kind of increase the input quality of your projects, because it's going to make mixing a lot easier. It's very difficult. I did a video the other day where I had the mic way too close, and I was just sitting for like half an hour trying to make the voiceover sound good, and I realized, let me just scrap the whole project because I had messed up the recording. So as time goes on, your ear matures to what is good from the get-go, easy to mix, should sound good, and you can move forward from there. But hopefully I went on a bit too long, but hopefully that makes sense. And every day gets better. Definitely watch some videos on how to record vocals, how to actually record them. There are some good ones, especially from the rock engineers and that kind of thing, because they're in studio all day and they really learn how to record better. So yeah, man, hopefully that makes sense. And watch more tutorials. Good luck. Produced by Zerka. Shout out Zerka, long time subscriber. Says, nice video as always, Farai. I have a question. Sometimes when I see YouTube video or videos of yours, when you boost the high frequency, you don't get the hiss in your recordings, but when I record and add high frequencies, I get a very noticeable hiss. Is it because I have a cheap mic? Alright, that is a good question. That is a technical question. Well, yeah, to answer your question, it could be that you have a cheap mic, but it could also be I have something in my eye. But it could also be what could I say it could be? It could also be that you're over cranking your microphone preamplifier. So there's something in audio that we call gain staging, and what it means is it's really just the art of trying to get your voice into the computer the best way possible, right? So basically, how are you setting up your microphone? How are you setting up your gain, right? If you adding too much gain, you're going to pick up a lot of the microphone's self noise. Now, the cheaper the microphone, generally you will have a issue with self noise. I know for sure my Behringer, I've still got the old Behringer C1, first mic I ever had, it always had a hiss on it, right? You plugged it in and it had hiss. Okay, the way that I combated that was I used what we call a NoiseGate. I used to use the Fruity limiter, which has a NoiseGate on it. There should be a video out there, I'm sure, of somebody denoising the vocals. I saw someone also comment on that comment that said to use Edison. You can also use the denoiser there. I find that one quite aggressive. So I've also done a denoiser video, so definitely check that one out. But the most important thing is to make sure that you're cranking your input level right, so that you can kind of minimize the hiss. So it's one of those two things mainly. It could also be that you're boosting too much. I mean, even a good quality mic like this, if I boost 20 dB on the high frequency, that noise starts to come out, you know what I mean? It's generally the high frequencies that have that noise on it. Other things it could be also is that, for example, I remember back in the day when I would plug in my audio interface into my laptop and the laptop was charging, I used to get a noise hum, and that was probably a ground loop or something. So there are a lot of factors that could go into it, but for the most part it's generally gain staging. So definitely check out some videos I've done. The videos I've done that can help you are search Farai the producer NoiseGate, and then Farai the producer denoising vocals, or Farai the producer NoiseGate, and those two should really set you up for better sounding vocals. So good luck with that. Bean says, dope video, Farai, keep up the good work. I just wanted to ask, when I finish my song using your template and I'm ready to put it on SoundCloud, do I export it as WAV or MP3? Good question, and that is a technical mastering question. That is great. So okay, cool, you finished your song. What you want to do is, right, here's another tip, is obviously have the MP3, obviously have a WAV file instead of an MP3 beat. Your quality is going to sound even better. What you want to do is, right, you want to start off with high quality files. So for example, if you have a WAV beat and WAV vocals, because all vocals are recorded in WAV on FL Studio, what you want to do is you want to keep the quality the same when exporting to streaming sites, because that way they can convert it themselves. SoundCloud is going to convert your song automatically to MP3. So there's no real sense in exporting to MP3 then going MP3 again, because maybe they're going to compress your MP3 again, right? Because MP3 is basically a compressed version of the original file, which is WAV format. So you know what I'm trying to say is you want to kind of bottleneck it downwards, right? So you want to start off with WAV, which is high quality, export in WAV, right, to keep that the same, and then it'll naturally end up in MP3 when it's on the internet. I'm pretty sure Spotify as well, they stream in 320 kilobytes per second MP3, but what everyone does and what the labels do is they upload to the servers in WAV format 96 kilohertz. That's kind of the new industry standard. I work at 48K since I do video, it just works for me. It's been working all these years, but I'm also thinking of going up to 96K. That's obviously a topic for another day, but yeah, keep everything in WAV format, upload to all of your favorite streaming sites in WAV. For example, I record everything in WAV. I import to Adobe Premiere when I'm editing all these videos in WAV format, right? I've recorded the music audio. If you're ever listening to my tutorials, that's all recorded in WAV format, and then I allow Adobe Premiere to export it into MP3 because it'll end up as MP3 on YouTube. So hopefully that makes sense. I wish I could export in WAV, but for some reason Adobe Premiere doesn't allow WAV export. I wish it did, because then YouTube could convert it itself, although I don't know if they do convert that. But yeah, man, generally audio streaming sites all in WAV, and they'll do MP3. So hopefully that makes sense, and shout out to everyone for tuning in once again, man. Hopefully you learned something, and definitely smash like below. Definitely check the links in the description, vocal recording course, vocal mixing course, all of that. Hopefully everyone is staying safe, man. Lots of crazy stuff going on in the world, you know what I mean? Fight the power, you know what I mean? And keep it moving. I'll check you next time. Peace out.